JV?
I'm doing all right. Well, once I realized the camera was on, I saw how crap my hair looked, and this just so happened to be the first hat I grabbed,
Yeah.
and
hmm
it really was.
Me, a Florida Panthers fan, just happened to wear a Golden Knights hat.
No, honestly, I didn't even think of that.
Boy, that rib came through big though.
Mm,
It's good to
Get
see
it,
you,
get it.
man. How you
Same.
feeling? How you healing up?
Doing all right. My voice is getting pretty good, so
Mm-hmm. I mean, you're able to do this. You sound normal. I've been saying that.
yeah. As long as I don't go much louder than this, I'm okay.
Oh, that marijuana came in after
Yeah,
listening to
just a
that
bit.
reverb.
Yeah, just a bit.
So, man, where'd you get started in pro wrestling? What was the like? Where was the beginning for you?
Future Stars of Wrestling down in Las Vegas, Nevada is pretty much where I got my start. Mike Delight, better known as Michelle, down in the Monster Factory now, which you can follow their exploits on Apple TV. Cheap plug. But
Small.
I started at FSW. Mike Delight and Cutthroat Cody taught me how to bump. Kid Vegas brought me on the road a lot my first couple years. So, but the FSW is basically where I cut my teeth.
And you were wrestling during that time?
Not during that time. I was more leaning towards the referee announcing side of things and all that. It was one of those things that I wanted to be able to keep myself safe and anyone else safe around me.
Yeah.
So I was learning to bump while I was also learning how to do commentary and other things.
What led you into like the commentary side? Was it like someone in the company was like, "Yo, you got a knack for this?" Or
Um, Basically, I never really did it much for Vegas, but I got a I got a gig in Arizona. I started out as a referee. Um, One night, their ring announcer was in a minor car accident. He wasn't able to make it, so
that sucks.
I filled in. It does, and like luckily he was able to find other spots and everything else, and so but I filled in for him that night, and then it kind of turned into a dual thing, not a duel, but like a
Yeah.
duo. And
Kind of like what we've done with Primos in the past.
yeah, exactly. Kind of like what WWE used to do with Lillian Garcia and Justin Roberts. But
Yeah. Okay.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
but I digress. It got like I felt like I was stepping on Bobby's shoes at that point, so I just told the guys down in Arizona, like, hey, um, I was still going to school at the time for broadcasting and everything. Gotten my uh, I hadn't gotten my degree or anything like that yet, or graduated. So, but I told them I'm taking broadcasting classes. That's kind of what I've always wanted to
Mm.
do. So I, yeah, so they let me uh, do it there. And I wound up doing commentary in Arizona on and off for about the next 6 years.
Okay. Where did you start with all your video edits and all that stuff? Where did
The
that begin
Navy.
for you? Okay.
Um, yeah, while I was in the Navy, they called us mass communications specialists, uh, fancy word for journalism and public affairs. So That's where I learned all of that at the Defense Information School at Fort Meade, Maryland, and they taught us how to do all of that basically because they tell us, hey, you're going to be a one man shop when you get out there, unless you go to a carrier or a large command or something like that. You have to be able to do everything. And so
For
they
the
taught.
folks at home, real quick, what's the difference between a boat and a ship?
Boat goes underwater, a ship floats. A boat is submarine.
Oh yeah, I messed that one up, huh? Hey, ribs on me.
You did that intentionally. So did Larry.
When did you come to Colorado? When was that introduction to this scene?
Um, about 5 years ago, this week or next, I came out here in 2018. There was a whole long string of events that we don't really need to get into with the first half of 2018. I wound up out here in, like I said, June of that year. Was having the somewhat difficult time uh, getting work. The first couple shows or the first couple months I was out here, Colorado Springs wrestling, because I was living at the Springs, picked me up for a show or two, and then Joey Joey heard me doing commentary and stuff at that show, and that's more or less how I got the gig at Primos after that.
Okay.
So uh, let's say that show was in the Springs was like November of 18. So my first show for Primos was that December, like December 2018. So, and then, yeah, been rolling with them ever since.
Was that before Randy took over CSW, or was he in charge of it
Yeah, this was before
during
Randy
the Chris
took over
Chavez era?
CS. Yeah, no, this wasn't
No.
the
Okay.
Chris Chavez era. This was his wife Susan was more or less.
Oh, okay.
She was the owner at the time and everything, and then she had a couple other guys booking for her, and
Okay.
yeah, so. But I mean, as far as I'm concerned, Susan was the one running it. Randy was getting ready to run another show at the time, which that's its own podcast. But
Oh, he's gonna be on, so I'm gonna ask.
oh yeah, I still have those tag team belts in my closet. But
Wait, so me and you are getting belts? Hold up. Hold up. Wait a second.
well, brother, I'm quit tired. I'm quit tired. I can't.
Ah, it's okay. I have a no contact clause. We're going up every match.
We're both Bobby Heenan.
Yeah.
What the fuck are you doing? But so it wasn't Randy's at the time. Long answer short.
Yeah.
So but by the time it was Randy's, like I was one of the first people he'd called back.
That's
So
cool.
um
Did CSW take like a hiatus or something?
not necessarily a
Just kind
hiatus.
of
It just went through.
switching of the guard.
Yeah, I went through a couple changings of the guard that I wasn't necessarily. I didn't feel like working for him, so I didn't work for him. And
Yeah.
I'm an independent contractor. I reserve that right, and
Amen.
like I told the guy why I didn't want to do it at the time, and like since then things have smoothed over as far as they're gonna as smooth as
Oh
they're gonna
yeah.
get.
It
And
feels
but yeah, and like I mean, there's no heat or anything. It's the whole
mm-mm.
I don't care if you eat, just don't do it at my table.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, for sure. Uh, what got you into wrestling like as a kid and stuff? What was that catalyst there for you, man?
I don't remember the catalyst. I just remember having always watched.
Yeah, it was just always something that was
Yeah,
on.
like I can remember, like uh, when my parents were moving me from New York to Vegas,
Mm-hmm.
uh, because I needed to get out there earlier than my mother and my sister because I was starting school, some dumb crap like that. So I was like 5 or 6 at this time, maybe a little older, and like I remember, A, other than being upset about moving, B, they choose the date of SummerSlam that they for me
Oh,
to make the move. Like, why? But I'm gonna, and it's not like they would have ordered SummerSlam. I didn't understand the
yeah.
concept of pay per view at the time. I just like, I was one of the first dates I had like circled on my calendar, and then it was like, yeah. But like, it's always kind of been there. When I got to about 10 to 11 years old, I'm like, oh yeah, I want to wrestle. I want to wrestle. Um, my old
Yeah.
man, who you met a couple months ago,
The
um,
legend. We got to get into that story here after this. I want to talk about that.
he more or less, like, he wasn't being um derogatory or detract or discouraging about it. He just like, yo man, you don't have the genes for this for wrestling, but you could do so many other things. And then,
Yeah.
like, I only kind of semi listened to him on that because fuck you, I still wrestled.
Yeah, exactly. You were in a battle royal at CWC. What led to that moment?
That was Chad kind of paying homage to Chris, who I unfortunately never got to meet. But I guess when Chris was doing his battle royals and stuff, he'd always do some kind of swerve, like bringing in a commentator or a or announcer, something like that, some kind of ancillary auxiliary position, and as long as they know how to stay safe, it's.
Yeah.
And so Chad told me the idea, um, and I told him, the couple parameters, a couple things we had to avoid. He was cool with it, and so I, he did me a favor a couple years ago. I'm doing him a favor.
Yeah. The favor that you're speaking about, was that tuxedo man?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
so let's talk about that a little bit before we get into anything else here.
Oh boy.
Yeah, so what led to that match? What even sparked that idea between you two? Because I wasn't
Uh,
at Primo's during the time.
so it was one of those things that kind of grew organically, and it actually started in the company Randy was first running, Iron Hills. And this was at the first Rudapaloozas. So we're going back to 2018, 2019 now. And um, they were trying to do something with a babyface ring announcer and a heel ring announcer kind of thing, something like that. But Chad and I had worked together before. We um, respect, but the fans just kind of started booing one, cheering the other, and like a couple months later, the Joe versus Chad chance started. Things kind of went on the back burner for a while. the chance followed us down to Denver, bounced back up to Colorado Springs once we both started working the springs again. And this got to, like I said, it was like a 2 year build, like a solid, year and a half at the very least. No, it was a 2.5 year build. So, we by that time we were in CSW. They had a booker who will remain nameless, and and yeah, my nose itches.
Son, I need some Tupperware.
So, but and actually, he wasn't even the one that booked it. It was actually Eric's idea originally. So, but he finally made the match happen after a long enough build. It was actually supposed to happen at Headlocks that year, but I had fucked up my ankle training. Yeah, it was the damnedest thing too. But I was
What
training
happened?
at the I was it was either I was training and it was just like I either rolled on it or something, but like I gave I was given a suplex, and then one of the boys said, "Are you all right?" I'm like, "What are you talking about? I'm fine." He's like, "That ankle looks like you rolled on it hella bad." I'm like, "No, I'm fine." Decided to skip training the next day because I had already been 2-3 times that week and was kind of gassed. And then the morning after that, which was a Saturday, I think I went to put my shoe on. I'm like, huh, I can't put my shoe on. That's not good. And then I take my sock off. I'm like, oh, yeah, no, that's definitely so. Luckily, there was no ligament damage, but I did wind up fracturing
That's good.
something.
That
But
sucks.
yeah, but like that was one of those things. A break is better than a sprain.
Mm-hmm.
So I was on crutches for a minute, and we built it in. We actually built it into the angle. Chad and I filmed a vignette where he jumps me at the gym and beats the crap. And like I had already been taped up. I'm on crutches. We
Yeah.
like we haven't beat up my right ankle, and then we reversed the. Oh man, so it was about a 2 year build. It was the weekend of both of our birthdays, I think, and we just
Oh, your guys' birthdays fall on like the same weekend?
yeah,
That's cool.
and yeah. So it was a nice little gift for the two of us.
Yeah.
We once I was healthy and everything, we wound up putting a pretty good match together, and then but other than that battle royal, that's pretty much also my last match.
Yeah, I have that footage. It's gonna be up on my YouTube here soon.
Yeah, I
Excited
know.
for that.
Chad keeps wondering what you're gonna do. I'm like, you're gonna have to ask him because I don't know shit.
Special. It's just gonna be gold. That's all it is.
Yeah.
Basically, it's, if you haven't seen Joan Jetson's Big Queer launch yet, go ahead and do that on Fight TV. Fight Plus. It was live last Sunday. Go ahead and tune towards the end of the show, and you're gonna hear a lot of fun commentary. Let's just put it that way. But that's what I'm gonna be aiming for. There's gonna be a lot of dick root comments.
I got to
Nerps.
I got to the intermission Sunday night before the gummies kicked in, and I just couldn't do anymore.
Yeah, that
So
shows that was a
yeah.
good one. It was a lot of fun to call. We had a lot of good the match is raw quality, you know.
Yeah.
Goddamn if Joan and Urza didn't throw down and have like match of the fucking year. Like so much and the thing that I touched on with Urza and Joan was They invoked emotion, which is really rare on the independents. Everyone was really emotionally invested, even for such a small build. Everyone was like there. Everyone was into it
Yeah.
emotionally. And then the moves too. Usually independence is like, dude, you had a great match, you killed it. Meaning, great moves, everything was snug, everything looked good. But it was an indie
Right.
match
Yeah.
where Joan and Urza brought emotion. I don't think there was a dry eye in the crowd. Like it was crazy. It was a crazy
Yeah.
moment. And then Effie
And
versus Marlon, that was wild. Never thought I'd
yeah.
see that one.
Yeah, no, that was really, that was huge. That's a really big feather in Marlon's cap too, which is, huge. And
Yeah.
shout out to Effie for coming out and being cool about that and everything, because like, not to go too inside baseball on it, Joan had told me the original result. I'm like, is Pete gonna be okay with that? Like,
Mm-hmm.
like
Mm-hmm.
we can have. I mean, if you've seen the show, you already know what comes up at the end
Yeah.
before. So, like, we could have easily had Caleb and Crow do their spot 30 seconds earlier, but that was really gracious and really cool of Effie to do that and to work the Rumble earlier that evening, and I'm really appreciative of him doing that. Like, so because that's just huge, and that and really super professional in my opinion. So
Oh yeah. Effie was super nice, genuine, like nice person. As when they first walked in, they were like, "You can't fucking smoke weed." They're all mad about that, which I think it was just jokes all around because of
yeah, yeah,
Colorado. But at the end of the night, all hugs, all love. It was like, thank you and thanking us, and we were thanking them, and it was such a good evening, man. It really
right.
was.
Yeah, I was gonna say I saw him at Lucha Libre and Laughs, and he was basically doing the same shtick, telling everyone he's a menace. So,
Yeah,
but
he's like, oh,
yeah,
yep, yep. He's a good dude. Good dude.
yeah,
We definitely got to
yeah.
get him back.
Oh, definitely. I'm
But
gonna.
what's Primo's got planned going forward? We got any cool shows coming up? Anything we're looking at,
Um,
eyeballing?
we have a super busy July. We have Valdez versus Bishop on July 2nd. That's going to be at the Roxy. We will be at Elitch Gardens on
That'll be
the
the Loaded show, right?
um
I think it's called Loaded. The one before, not the Elitch's one.
right. I can't. We'll get back on that
Yeah,
one.
cool, cool.
And then the Elitch show. Elitch is gonna name that whatever they want. Gardens.
Yeah,
Gardens will
yeah.
name that whatever they want. The
The
14th.
battleground at the garden, something.
Yeah. The and that'll be a lot of lucha libre. We've got Delta
Mm-hmm.
Jr., Rayo Plateado, Itzel Estrada. We've got the Almighty EMT. We've got Diego Diablo, Filter, Lipto, Anubis, Melandro, Spirit Knight. We've got Laredo Kid and Enes.
Yeah. That's
Like,
gonna be insane, and I'm gonna have to miss it because I'll be at
um,
AWR right here.
we're gonna have video of it. It may not necessarily be a live stream, but we'll
Yeah.
we'll get the cameras rolling or something. I'm just gonna have to do things the old school way, since someone's gonna have the cheater box with him.
Oh boy, I'm gonna be out of state, okay, watching blood and guts.
Oh man, you're gonna take the okay. Yeah, I just remembered. Oh shit, he's gonna need the iPad too. I'm really gonna have.
Everything, yeah. You're gonna be
I'm
hosed, bruh.
right. The Yeti. I'm really just gonna have to film
Oh,
this
I'll
on
take
my
my
free
Yeti. You don't
camera.
have to worry. No,
Okay.
you can have yours. I'll take
I'm
mine
just.
that way.
I'm just thinking to myself now, like, man, I'm gonna have to film this on like 3 cameras and sync everything myself the old school way.
Old school way. No.
Oh God, horrors.
How'd you get them headphones you're wearing, man?
I won a trivia contest at Red Rocks for the South Park tailgate party.
How I mean, obviously you're a super fan of South Park, but man, to like overcome those odds, because everyone especially let's get into that a little bit. It was the 25th anniversary of South Park.
Yeah, it was the they were there for 2 days doing concerts at Red Rocks with Primus and Ween and a couple other acts. And so for the days of the leading up to the show, they did basically a tailgate party. They had a bunch of stuff set up all over, and then they were advertising a trivia contest. Tyra and Izzy kind of pushed me into doing it because I wasn't going to compete or anything like that. I'm just like,
I know,
fuck.
as famous as you are, it's like, you're so humble for being so famous, man.
I just didn't, and so I wound up doing that. They had they wound up throwing me up on the stage like maybe 20 minutes later, and like I answered more questions. It got to the point where like I was almost like not raising my hand or hitting the buzzer to just like try to give someone else a chance.
10 up like the Knights the other night. What was it, 9-2 or something?
9-3 it wound up being. Yo, but that's not the Knights' fault when they pull Bobrovsky with like 7.5 minutes to go or whatever they did. I mean, yeah, it was already 7-2 at that point.
Yeah.
But like, you pull your goalie, you deserve to get scored on another 2 times.
And yet here you were pulling your goalie at the South Park trivia contest, and not a damn soul was scoring.
No, not at all.
Those are limited edition, right? Like 1 of 1.
Not
One of
quite
2.
1 of 1. They when they broadcasted the concert on Comedy Central that weekend, they were giving away 8 pairs that weekend, so 2 of each of the boys. So that's another 2 pairs right there. Yeah, 2 pairs right there. That's 3. I'm assuming Matt and Trey have some. That's 4.
Yeah.
And then, it's probably right around 100, like just between staffers and stuff like that. So they're not 1 of 1, but they're pretty goddamn rare.
One of not many.
Yeah, and like it's not something that they sold or anything like that. So
I know, man. Those things are super cool. You were stoked, and then you got the Stan ones, right?
yeah.
Like, of all the fucking ones for you to get, dude. Like, that's
Yeah,
just
yeah.
wild.
Stan's my
Nailed your
boy.
dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, Stan is your boy. Let's talk about that real quick. Boy, Bat Dad versus Stan's dad. Okay, and who was Stan in the crowd?
Oh yeah, I was standing in the crowd. Someone got me the red poofball hat. So,
Yes, sir. That was a fun evening.
yeah,
Who?
yeah.
What? How did we even come to that conclusion on that matchup? Where did that?
I was Carnival is something funny we do every year,
Yep, our Halloween
obviously.
show.
And then I just so happened to be watching the episode. I think we may have reviewed it right around that time on Suck My Balls.
Yeah.
Cheap plug.
Hey,
Um,
and no, that's another podcast you guys can check out, in which my boy Joe Vernola is part of. It's a South Park podcast called "Suck My Balls" on YouTube. Any other platforms?
basically wherever you can get your podcasts. We're on
Basically
Spotify,
like this. Yeah,
Apple, yeah.
cool.
So we're like number 5 or something in Germany, number 1 in the Netherlands. Shout out to all my Netherlands people. Are they Dutch? No, they're not Dutch. They're Danes.
Just gonna call them Neds.
Yeah, yeah.
Your Ned
It's-
heads,
yeah, Joe Marks.
boy.
But so we and I mean I was inebriated as I often am, although
Always.
I'm highly functioning, and I don't mean booze. So but
No.
I spun the idea past Joey, and he fucking laughed his ass off. And then um Big James is another fan of the show, and once I told him like, "Yo, man, you want to be Bat Dad?" Like he
Yeah.
hadn't seen that episode though. Like,
I know, which is crazy. He knew about
right,
the skiing
yeah,
episode and
right.
French
So like,
fries. I'm just saying.
I think you wound up showing him before I could,
Hmm.
but and then but like once he saw it, he like, oh shit, he was all about it.
It
Like,
was him under a hood. Like it's
yeah,
him.
and like
So
the Bat Dad voice sounds like him when he cuts a promo. I'm coming for you,
Batman, you're
Marsh.
coming for you. Yeah, it's so good. What do you? Oh man,
And Firster as Randy Marsh was great. I mean, he looked the part, except a little more integrity.
a little
Uh,
more integrity, but yeah,
yeah,
a little more integrity. That was a fun match. It was one of those
yeah,
matches that I think will stick with the Primos fans, especially the ones there live. And then
oh
going
yeah,
forward with Carnival, like you said, we're always gonna have something fun. And so Bad Dad, Randy too. We got to do that
yeah.
one. We got to run it back. They did.
Um, Type One said he's gonna do Scott Malkinson this year.
Oh, that'll be so good. Love that.
It's
I
gonna be
love that.
great.
Okay, let's talk about Type 1 a little bit. And Ryan at Jones' show in the Battle Royal, Ryan 1 was throwing sugar in the man's face. The kid has
Why?
diabetes.
Why the hell? You know who I blame for this? I blame Rob
Uh,
Risen. I not Rob Ryan. I blame Risen. The
yeah,
the Reverend of Sin, the
the
leader of the
different one.
punk.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
cousin.
the cousin. I blame Risen for this because he's the one that started this all. He's the one that tried to, pour Skittles down the poor kid's mouth. And
Bruh.
like that would have killed him. I mean, it would have been a very tasty
Oh,
rainbow.
yes.
Like Skittles are fucking delicious.
It would
Like
have been a delicious death for sure.
yeah, he would have been. Oh man, so these are Skittles.
And then
But
it snowballed into Killian trying to feed him candy bars.
yeah. Killian tried to feed him his Snickers like the next month,
And
because
now we actually have sugar coming in
right,
contact. And we saw what
yeah,
happened to him. That
I
man went
exactly.
into shock.
And yeah, he went into a full blown diabetic
Oh,
coma.
yes.
Like, and I saw the bag that Lee Ryan Green had on him. Like, it was granulated powdered sugar.
Yeah,
Like
I don't
that
trust
just
anything that man has coming from a pharmacy, okay?
yeah, he could have put no, see, if it were Benny Paradise, then I wouldn't have trusted that bag.
Mm. Well, see, that wouldn't be coming from a pharmacy. That'd
Yeah,
be
fair
coming
enough.
from somewhere. Maybe a farm. You might be able to find it on a farm.
Down
Backwoods,
in
Tennessee.
Columbia.
Yeah.
Find
So
it
we got
on
a couple big shows coming up too, like Taco
yeah.
Fest. That's gonna be a
Yeah,
good one.
that is April 26th or August 26th,
I was
down
gonna
in
say,
Boulder.
hold on, we looking backwards?
Yeah, that'll be August 26th, up in Boulder down at the creek. September 15th, we're going to be in a couple places. That'll be day one of Slave to the Deathmatch weekend.
Yeah.
I cannot believe we're already talking about that.
I know, man. It's crazy. Feels just like yesterday. I saw Satica destroy Aiden Blackheart through a pane of glass.
Yeah, she did a lot of damage. She's a bad bitch.
Anything that we can, on here, like any leaks real quick we got any names that you might be able to drop for Slave?
Nothing I know yet.
Hmm.
Other than like I'm fairly certain we can all but guarantee that Mosh Pit Mike is going to be there.
Yeah. Larry Nabisco will be there, baby.
Yeah, Larry will be there. Mosh Pit Mike, like I'm not going to speak for the man, but like I'm as sure as I can be without being 100%.
Him and
Like
Aiden Blackheart, I feel, are like guarantees.
probably Chuck too.
Yeah,
Um,
Techstein, yeah, for sure.
we'll probably have Cutter again. He's one that
Become a
is
staple for sure. Yep.
definitely become a staple. He gets requested a lot.
I mean,
Um,
everyone loves him.
yeah.
Have they healed from their broken arm? Do you know about any of that?
I think he has because he said something about making a
Good,
trip to Japan here in the near future.
good, good, good.
So yeah.
And a little name that maybe I can throw in there for a fantasy booking: Shane Mercer, Slave to the Death Match.
The death matches are not my cards. Those are
I know,
your
but sure, you frequent the palace more than I do, man.
fair,
You're the provider.
fair enough. I mean, his inbox is always open. He answers more people than I do.
That's very true. That's very true. I'll have to start bugging him more about it. But boy, imagine the Iron Demon, Aiden Blackheart, get the rest of them boys out there, the whole
Yeah.
Clout collective. Oh,
Flocka, flocka, flocka.
yeah, man. You have any fun
But
stories with Aiden? I know that like post
um
shows, you guys are hanging out and stuff. So
not really. I am really, really antisocial. Um Probably the best way to describe it. Like yeah, everyone else will be like partying, doing whatever. I'll go to my room, watch a little TV, go to sleep. Like I don't even really do like the in and out runs we do are probably about as much social interaction as I can handle at any one point in time.
especially after like the shows, sometimes they're man, you'll get there at sometimes noon, and you're there from noon till like 10:30, and then I understand. I fully get it. And then I got to sit
Yeah,
in a car with shitty ass James for like an hour and a half on the way to Denver. You don't know my pain.
yeah, and it's just in general, I think probably the last 7 8 years I just like haven't, and that might be a mental health thing too. I don't know. I just like
Yeah.
really haven't been able to do like the big crowds and stuff. Like if everyone were to go to a Denny's or something, or like after Crossfire when everyone went to OCs, and I
Yeah.
just like I dipped out. Like I just can't do it.
Yeah. Same. I was out,
So
man.
yeah, yeah. Like I
Especially after being in a stinky gym. Because the gym
right,
shows that, it's a little pewy. I ain't hungry after that. I'm going to be dead ass hungry.
right. But the I mean, I have a couple. Do you have some good stories with Mosh Pit Mike? Just with other people that have kind of shown themselves to not be decent since there's one time I'll give you a quick one since I don't have anything for Aiden or any of that.
Yeah.
Mosh used to come to Vegas a lot because we do like an Arizona Vegas Salt Lake swing. We'd drive back to Vegas and they would eventually drive back to Albuquerque. So Mosh Pit Mike and a couple other guys are with us. I'm walking around with Kid Vegas and uh, a couple of the Vegas crew and everything. Um, Mosh Pit Mike decides to really really make me feel awkward. We're walking down the strip, right in the middle of a crosswalk. A group of just like four absolute dimes, which I mean you see all over Vegas, but it doesn't matter. Just like, hey ladies, this is Joe Vernola. He's gonna drop down right now and give you 20 push-ups. Aren't you Joe Vernola? Fuck, guess I got it. So I, drop down, crank out a full 20, and I think they had walked away by like 12.
I'm out.
Yeah, like I get to 12 and like I see that they're already walking away, and Mosh Pit, no, Joe Vernola, you have to do 20. Like he'll never call me Joe. He'll either call me JV or he'll call me by my full name.
Joe Vernola.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a
So
fun one.
yeah. So there was another time there was a traffic sign that said bump on whatever road was ahead. We get to the road. He's like, Joe Vernola, pull over. We got a bump. And all fucking four of us bump on the fucking asphalt.
And you wonder why you're in the shape that you're in.
No, I flat backed that one. I took the bump nice.
Nope. Nope. It's asphalt, dude. That ain't happening for me. There's a reason why I am never getting in that ring, all right? Y'all are crazy.
I was in my
Mosh Pit
20s.
Mike is crazy. He's the one that took porcupine skewers, quills. Yeah. That's insane. What's some of the craziest stuff you've seen in a death match? I know you've only been with Primos for so long, but I'm sure you've seen.
Like with my actually in front
in
of
person,
me.
like that shit where you're sitting there going, these motherfuckers are really gonna do this shit.
Right, I was gonna say because I watch a lot of Oneida, and like that, that FMW shit is fucking great. The man, the thing that I've seen that like makes me think that's the craziest thing I've ever seen, or makes me like cringe the most, is when Chuck or anyone else just takes the syringe through their mouth or something. I can handle tubes. I can handle tacks, gussets. Legos make me laugh. But I love Chuck to death too. Like he's an awesome dude. I love having him out here. He's actually been checking in on me a lot on my recovery, and I just can't watch those parts of his matches. Like, and
when they're real crazy and put it in their tongues.
Oh my god, yeah.
That one's like
I just, and like the Navy turned me into a pincushion, so my aversion to needles is not what it once was. But God,
I'm not a
like
fan.
Before I had to stop, I would have been willing to take a lot of deathmatch spots, but that wasn't one of them. Like I've taken
the one that messes with me the most is gusset plates. But what were you gonna say?
I was gonna say I've taken a lot of chair shots, sign shots. I've taken staples, a few other things. Like I would have taken tax had I been asked and everything. Like, but I
Oof.
would have never in a million years
Uh,
done a syringe. I'm like, those have got to be like
Weed
20.
whacker? No. Not what would you? Would you?
No, probably not. Like,
Oh man, seeing Sick Nick Mondo's stomach after that weed
yeah,
whacker shot scarred me
yeah,
for life.
yeah.
For life.
Um, I also wouldn't try to do one of those toe to toe spots with Necro. He knocked me the fuck out with one
No.
of them.
His have you seen how big his hand is? Like
Yeah.
it's literally
Oh, yeah.
ginormous.
No,
It's not a regular hand. It's crazy.
yeah, no, I've been in the same room as it's just like Jesus Christ.
And the way he punches too, it's not like an overhand like in. It's like it's almost
Yeah,
like this, and he just comes at your fucking head, and he just
right.
pushes
Yeah,
this fucking anvil into your face. Yeah, that's.
yeah. Syringes and Necro's fists, two things I will never do.
Mm-mm. Last year, a sound deathmatch tournament, God of Death, Necro Butcher was involved. Uh, and him and Remington Roar, which you know,
Yep. Oh yeah.
they went toe to toe, man. And there was a point where Necro hit that mother, and you see
Mhm.
Rem go like, "Oh, it did. Oh,
Yeah.
that's not a hand. That's a steel plate. Like, okay,
Yeah.
that's a
Um,
piston."
I've seen Mosh have a match with him. Same thing happened. Like I've been watching Necro since probably at least 2002, 2003 because like I remember watching Shikara shows with him versus Eddie
Mm.
Kingston, and they were just beating the absolute ever loving snot out of each other.
Yeah, those
So,
God, the Chikara shows and CZW, and then the
mhm.
ROH CZW feud with like
Yeah,
Hero and Kingston, and oh man, all that stuff was so good. That was real good era of independent wrestling.
yeah, that was um my reintroduction to indie wrestling at that point because like Eddie Guerrero had gotten fired. So he was doing the ROH thing, and then from there I started, really paying attention to the indies again. I had seen a couple indie shows as a kid out in Vegas. One of them was like 1995 or 96. It had to have been 95 at Jerry's Silver Nugget. It was Sabu versus Cactus Jack.
That's
Um,
awesome.
and they took it all over the casino. I think that was part of the reason why they didn't have wrestling back for a few years after that. But and the funny thing is, one of the local-ish guys, or one of the guys that came up in a car from Arizona, I wound up working with many, many times later on, and it took me a minute to. It took me a few years for it to dawn on me, but so but yeah, you're right. That was a great time for indie wrestling, and that was probably like like I said, my reintroduction to it.
Did you ever play any like the wrestling simulators, back in the day, like Extreme Wrestling Revenge or Promotion Wars or
I don't know the name of it. Um, it was definitely the text game. It was on the Max at my junior high school, and it just had like a whole bunch of WWF guys from the 80s. It had Hacksaw Hogan, Savage, Andre, DiBiase, and I think it would either let you fantasy book or something like that, but that would have been like the only thing close to doing that. Like I would do the build the pay-per-view on Warzone and stuff like that, but never one of the like true hardcore simulators or anything
I
like that.
really loved those acclaimed WWF games. Like I know that like the button combinations were like, but once you learned everything, you knew what you were doing. It was like a
And
cakewalk.
I mean, I've always been good at Mortal Kombat, so I was okay with the system, and I preferred it to the system they had in the previous generation, where it was like, you remember, it looked like that pill, and it just had the, and it
Yeah,
like, oh, whoever can mash the buttons the best, like, or if you've got your opponent in the red, then you can maybe kind of sort of hit a finisher.
yeah.
But
I miss
yeah,
those games, man.
the N64 games were really good. I Yeah.
Insanely good, especially for the time. Like because it all built off of the Japanese game. What is the name of that game?
Um for Not Virtual Pro Wrestling 64, is it?
Is that the one that led into No Mercy?
Yeah, that led
Yeah,
into World
that's like
Tour,
the ultimate
Revenge.
wrestling game. It has like all the
Yeah, it had
moves and yeah. I see you still. All right.
yeah. I'm just Yeah, it was VPW 64. Yeah, and it had like everyone on it. Um
Yeah, that's like I know AJ Styles like during that shoot interview God, there was like a few years there where like shoot interviews were insanely popping. Kayfabe commentaries was just like cranking them out.
yeah,
And you saw
yeah.
a lot of people sitting in the locker rooms or in the hotels, and they'd be in the background playing that while the interview was happening in the background.
Yeah. Um and then they've couple times they've played it on the AEW video game show. Like, I know they had
Mm.
Adam Cole getting down on it the other day, or well, probably a few months ago now, but
Yeah, what do you think of AEW and WWE? Do you think there's like real like competition there? Do you think that AEW is more of like a landing spot for
um
people that I don't want to say can't make it to WWE, but you know.
they have guys that can very easily go to WWE tomorrow and be just fine, if done the right way and everything like that. Because I don't know how anyone could not get MJF over. And that's been from the beginning, even when he was like doing CCW, like from the very beginning. Like
Without AEW, do you think MJF would be where he is today? Had he like landed in the WWE developmental system and just kind of made it through there, do you think he would have like ended up like a Bobby Roode, maybe like
um
on the backside of things? Just because WWE tends to do things like that, even with people that are tremendously talented.
um honestly, I think if AEW wasn't there, he would be a Drew McIntyre LA Knight situation,
Oh, okay. Yep.
where McIntyre was there, didn't quite take off. He went on the indies, he went to Impact, he like really found himself, he bulked the fuck up.
Boy, that
Um
ICW run across
yeah,
seas, nuts.
yeah. And now McIntyre is one of the biggest stars on the planet. He's a three-time champion now, I think. And
Yeah.
that's the guy that was in the three-man band.
I know. Isn't
And
that
that's
crazy? 3MB.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and like, I don't get me wrong, I love
Same.
those kinds of acts,
Yeah, same.
but yeah, it's like he went from that to being one of the most seriously taken wrestlers on the planet. And LA Knight was a very similar situation. He was just torching the indies for years. He was in natural selection with Brian Cage. He had Percy Pringle III as a manager. He went to NXT the first time, did the Slate Randall stuff. Didn't work out for him the first time. Went to Impact, started doing the or did the whole Eli Drake run.
Yeah, man, that
And
thing popped
yeah,
for him. That exploded.
yeah, and like now they're saying he might be Mr. Money in the Bank, and if that's the case, I'll fucking lose my shit because I was working with dude a long time ago.
What do you think when people call him a ripoff of Stone Cold? I know a lot of
Um,
people kind of lean into the whole what yeah thing. I mean, similar, but
he he's actually more of a rock fan, and he'll tell you more of his influences are are from are from the rock and stuff, and you can kind of see it in the way he carries himself and does his
yeah,
but
the
I
clothing and
don't,
his
yeah,
everything.
but at the same time he's very much his own person and everything. It's I think that's fans should, oh, everything's a copy of it's there's always going to be a certain sect, a certain percentage, a certain whatever of wrestling fans that just aren't going to be happy unless they're bitching about something or shitting on something, and that could and the, just some kind of negative energy, or or they want to be that cool contrarian person that nonconformist, everybody, oh, LA United, oh, that dude's like, bro, no one here brought Stone Cold into the conversation. Like, it's
Yeah,
like, if you can't get apples and oranges, you can't compare shit like that, and oh, someone's just a ripoff of the other. Well, fucking Sons of Anarchy is a ripoff of Hamlet. The fuck are
boy,
you gonna do about it?
it's crazy your knowledge on things like that because it's something that it's an unexpected knowledge. You know, people knowing Shakespeare and just like dropped that book in my son's hands, so it's just one of those things where it's like, man, like just things that you wouldn't expect from people. Where did you find that like vibe? Like where'd you dive into that stuff?
Um, I don't really. I was always kind of a bookworm as a kid, and I think like fourth or fifth grade, something like that. Someone got me a Shakespeare, like basically the complete works of Shakespeare. Um, my dad had a bunch of Poe stuff his uh, in his library, and so it was just I was at an age where I'd read just about anything put in front of me, and so it was like I said, I can't even remember which relative or friend or whatever it was, but they got me that. I got that, and so I started reading that. They went a little bit in on it in high school, but that's whatever. It was just a lot of stuff on my own.
Yeah. Do you have a favorite Shakespeare quote or line from a play, I guess? I'm not very
Um,
versed in Shakespeare, sorry.
I mean, I can't really pick a favorite line or soliloquy or anything like that. I also really haven't.
Soliloquy.
Yeah,
Oh, when Dusty Rhodes dropped soliloquy on commentary, I will
yeah,
never ever forget that. That's something I hold dear.
soliloquy.
Soliloquy. I was like, no, what? Did he?
Right?
What? And none of us know what that means. We're all children looking at each other. What's a soliloquy? We needed
Well, I
you,
don't know.
Joe Vernola. We needed
Right.
you. You could have told us.
Yep. But
Oh man.
yeah, it was just I started just reading it because it was put in front of me. The same reason I started reading After magazines was I saw a wrestling magazine. I'm like, how does this have Shawn Michaels and the Giant on the cover? And
Yeah, he was crossing the lines before anyone else, huh?
yeah,
That dude. After's like the respected Meltzer.
yeah,
That's
he
like
is.
what it is. Like, did we like I just figured that out. Like it's everyone loves Bill
Um,
Apter. Everyone.
mhm.
Everyone hates Dave Meltzer.
Without Bill Apter, we may not have the Andy Kaufman angle either.
Really? What?
Yeah, Kaufman went to McMahon with it first, McMahon Senior, and he didn't want anything to do with it. Um, Andy calls up or bumps into Bill Apter, or something like that.
Andy
Hey,
was already doing the women's wrestling champion stuff at the time.
on his shows, yeah, on
Yeah,
his
on his
like,
shows. Yeah, yeah, on his shows. Okay.
yeah, he was
Continue.
already he was already doing that bit. Wanted to bring it to WWF, or maybe it was WWF at the time. I can't. It was 1980 and 81, whatever it was. Vince turned it down. Uh, Andy went to Bill or bumped into Bill or something like that. Just kind of lamenting that it got turned down and everything, and so they went to Bill's apartment in New York. Okay, yeah. Kaufman was talking to McMahon at a garden show Apter was shooting because Andy was a fan. He knew who Apter was. Yeah, Vince just shot this down. They went back to Apter's apartment. Apter called up Jerry Lawler, and apparently they were on the phone for hours. And it turned in, and Lawler, by the end of it, was, "I'll call Jerry. I'll call Jerry," meaning Jarrett, right now. And we'll,
Yeah.
yeah. So
Because Lawler wasn't in the WWF at the time, right?
yeah, no, he wasn't there until '93, maybe late
Yeah, okay.
'92.
Yeah.
But
That's so crazy. So to think that there could have been someone else in Jerry Lawler's spot.
yeah,
Like, because man, did Lawler play it so well, slapping Kaufman the way he did, and like, just
yeah,
everything they did was so money.
it really was. And like, I don't think um, Bob Backlund would have been willing to do that at the time, because Bob Backlund was always big on working with people who knew how to actually wrestle.
And I don't think he would have just slapped someone either. I think he had kind of some more reserve to him. He didn't have
Yeah,
that like shitty heel in him to slap the
right.
hell out of somebody.
Right, he didn't have that till the '90s, but, like,
Yeah.
San Martino was already gone. They may have been able to do it, but no, Pedro Morales said no, they could have maybe done it with Pedro Morales, but yeah, it's like,
Zabisco, maybe? Maybe Zabisco was there still?
yeah, he was still there, um, but no, you're right, like, it's very hard to think of that angle with anyone other than Jerry.
Yeah, it's almost
Eh,
like Andy built the whole thing with Jerry in mind, is what you would think, but that just goes to show the creative mind that Andy Kaufman had.
yeah. And like, oh, those were such great promos. This the way they talk in Memphis, Tennessee, Mr. Lawler. I'm from Hollywood. Oh, God, so
Uh,
good.
yeah, man. You portrayed Andy Kaufman once at a carnival event. That was a fun beating that you
Yeah,
took.
yeah, that was. yeah, I got the shit chopped out of me.
Yes, you did.
But yeah,
Speaking of getting the shit chopped out of you, Primo's Premier Pro Butcher Shop, our training school, your training school I represent, mildly. Go ahead and let the people know how they can get in contact with the butcher shop, how they can, start their journey to becoming a professional
um,
wrestler or part
there,
of production alongside me or,
yeah, there's a couple ways you could do that. Go to primosprowrestling.net and click on the Butcher Shop Training School link right there. Uh, it'll give you basic breakdown and prices on the classes. We run every Monday through Friday night, 7:30 to about 9:30, 10 o'clock. We do have a Saturday class that goes at about noon, if I'm not mistaken. And we also offer a kids class Sundays at 9:30. Although I don't know if Red Viper Jr. is going to be giving up that king of the student of the kids class title
don't do
anytime soon.
that. Don't do that. That little masked hooligan already has a big enough head, all right?
All right.
Dude, at the last show, that's all I had to hear about from Guns. Oh, the coolest mixed sweet, the best mixed sweet, the only one with the promo skills. I'm like, you know what, Guns? You can leave, man. No, I love that kid. And it's a great alternative for all kids around too, especially if your kid isn't into traditional sports like football or
Yeah.
basketball, or it's still a great recreational sport. Crash pads, super safety oriented. No
Yeah.
kids are doing anything that's wild and crazy, neck slam bumps. It's all super safe, just fundamentals, learning how to run the ropes.
Yep.
It's really, I mean, and all the teachers, all the coaches that the kids have, from Provider to Urza to Malibu Bobby. I mean, and then every now and then some special guest coaches come in, like we had Lowrider on my son's birthday there doing some training, and that
Yep.
was a blast, man. It's a really good school for adults and children, everyone in between, to learn and hone this craft. And it's affordable. That's the big thing. You're not going to be spending $3,000 a month to go watch other people bump. I'm gonna just put that out there. You're going to learn to bump. You're gonna learn everything from. I mean, Friday night is called the Friday Night Bump Club.
Yeah.
So, and each Monday through Friday, different teachers, different coaches. So
Yeah.
you're
So
gonna
you
get a
can learn
plethora of
different. Yeah.
knowledge. And then our
Yeah.
seminars, we have some of the best seminars too, man.
Yeah.
So
We did. We're definitely trying to keep those going as well. And those usually we will try to find a way to provide them to the students for free. So
mm-hmm.
it's our way of showing that we are invested in everyone's success, and this isn't really a cash grab for us. Do we like to
No,
make money? Absolutely. Are we
it's a
trying to
business
cash?
first.
Yeah, exactly. But it's a business, but are we trying to fleece anyone or cash grab or
Mm-hmm.
anything like that? Absolutely not.
Yeah. It's been a wonderful experience so far with the Primos crew. Been wonderful talking to you, Joe Vernola. I absolutely love you, man. I
Yeah, love you
appreciate you
too,
being
brother.
on here. I will be seeing you Saturday at Battleground Pro Wrestling. No,
Friday.
Friday. Friday Battleground
Yes.
Pro Wrestling. Saturday, I'm at Millennium with the wife.
I'll
Concert,
be at
Mile
CS
High.
Dub.
You have a blast, brother. I hope that it's not too stressful, but I'll be there the month after to help you out.
Sounds good.
Is there anything you want to plug? Any social media? Is there anything going forward before we get up out of here?
Um, I'm terrible on social media. My shoot account is just a cesspool of dank memes and me cursing people out and having
That's why you
to
got two profiles, right?
I was gonna say, and having to sit out for 30 days. And then my cousin Joey Verona pops up out of nowhere.
Yeah, who is that? That guy. That now they're the real menace. They're
Yeah,
the real
they are.
menace.
But
That's what I'm gonna start calling you when things start going haywire. I'm like, oh, Verona's here.
The friggin' Brett, when he was working downtown all the time, used to see this doppelganger of me that he called No Vernola.
Oh no, no Vernola.
Like,
Oh man.
there was one time he texted me like 1 o'clock in the morning, something like that. He's like, yo, are you downtown right now? I'm like, fuck no, I'm sleeping. Fuck are
Little
you
did he
asking?
know it was actually you. That'll be our secret. I won't tell him. I won't tell him. Oh no. No, not the wink. I love you, brother.
All right, man. Have a good one, boss.
I will be in touch with you, and we'll have to run this back. I think I want to do like a sit down round table, you know, with like the whole Primo squad, me, you, Joe, Tyra, Bubba, you know, like a live, you know, sit down at the palace,
Yeah,
and do
yeah,
something like that. So,
for sure.
love you, man, and
Same,
we'll
brother.
run this back, dude. Go Knights!
Right.
Congratulations,
Yes.
brother.
Congrats to the Nugs.
Woo! I spent $250 on stupid gear. I love you. Have a good one, brother.
You too, boss.
That has been the Sweet Spot with Rockin' with Sweets. I am Rockin' with Sweets. Please be sure to give Shady Sports Network a like, a follow, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, anywhere you can find us on social media, Twitch. Use your mama's phone. Give us 2 likes. I love you guys. I am out of here. I'm going to leave you with my favorite ad, the SeatGeek Lady.
SeatGeek is the ticketing app for fans like Boomstick Lady. No free throw is safe from the roar of her sticks. SeatGeek helps her find a seat in the direct eye line of the shooter so she can sit where her boomsticks make the biggest boom. Everybody okay? SeatGeek handles the tickets to sports, concerts, and more, so fans can fan.